The great crystal dome of Nexus Prime sparkled with light from 3 different suns. Inside, delegates from 47 different alien species sat in their special chairs. Each chair was made for their unique body types, some tall, some short, some with tentacles, others with wings. Ambassador Kira adjusted her water-breathing mask and looked around the room. Her blue skin glistened under the artificial lights. She represented the Villani people, who lived in the deep oceans of 12 different worlds. Today's meeting was supposed to be about trade routes, but something else had come up. The old stories are just that, stories, said Jin, hitting his metal hand against the table. His robotic parts gleamed as he moved. Jin was a trade minister, who only cared about credits and profits. We have real problems to solve. Pirates are attacking our cargo ships, food shortages on rim colonies. These fairy tales waste our time. Commander Day stood up from his seat. He was tall and covered in thick gray skin like armor. His people, the Raxer, were known as the best warriors in the galaxy. Jin speaks truth. We should focus on real threats, not children's bedtime stories. But Hyun, the old keeper of historical records, shook his head slowly. His long, thin fingers trembled as he held an ancient data pad. These are not just stories. The records go back thousands of years. Every species has them. Every world tells the same tales. What tales? Asked Kira, her voice bubbling through her water mask. Hyun's eyes grew distant as he began to speak. Tales of a species called humans. They walked on 2 legs like some of you. They had no special powers, no natural armor, no ability to breathe, underwater no wings to fly. But they had something else. What? Several delegates asked at once. They never gave up. Hyun's voice grew stronger. When others would surrender, humans would fight harder. When faced with impossible odds, they would find a way to win. The legends say they could turn any defeat into victory just by refusing to accept it. General Su laughed loudly. His Raxer battle scars showed white against his gray skin. Impossible. My people are the greatest warriors in the galaxy. We have conquered 100 worlds. If these humans were so great, where are they now? That's the mystery, Hyun said quietly. They vanished from all records about 3,000 years ago. Some say they died out. Others believe they left our part of the galaxy. But the stories remain. Stories, Jin repeated with disgust. While we talk about imaginary people, real pirates steal our goods. Real people starve on colony worlds. Young, Scout Captain Wu had been sitting quietly in the back. His job was to watch the outer rim of Federation space for threats. Now he stood up, his face pale with worry. There's something you all should know, Wu said. His voice cracked with nervousness. My long-range scanners picked up something strange 3 days ago. The room grew quiet. All eyes turned to the young captain. Large ships moving through hyperspace toward Federation territory. The energy signatures don't match any known species. They're powerful. More powerful than anything in our databases. Commander Day leaned forward. How many ships? At least 50, maybe more. They're moving in perfect formation, like a military fleet. Probably just a new species wanting to join the Federation, Jin said. But his voice didn't sound confident anymore. General Su frowned. What do the energy readings tell us about their weapons? Wu looked even more worried. That's the problem. The readings are off our scales. If these are weapons signatures, they're far beyond our current technology. Yun suddenly dropped his datapad. It clattered on the floor, but he didn't pick it up. His old hands were shaking. The ship designs, he whispered. Captain Wu, can you show us the sensor images? Wu activated his portable projector. Ghostly blue images appeared in the air above the meeting table. The ships were long and sleek, with smooth lines and strange angles. They looked nothing like Federation vessels, which were built more like floating cities. By the ancient waters, Kira breathed. Those look like the ships in the oldest legends, Hyun finished for her. The descriptions match perfectly. Long, fast, built for war but elegant at the same time. You're being ridiculous, Jin snapped. Just because some unknown ships look like your fairy tale vessels doesn't mean they're operated by mythical humans. But doubt was creeping into everyone's minds. The timing was too strange. For thousands of years, humans had been nothing but stories. Now unknown ships were heading toward Federation space, and they looked exactly like the vessels described in ancient legends. "How long until they reach our territory?" asked Commander Day. 2 days, maybe 3, Wu replied. "General," Su was already thinking like a soldier, "we should prepare our defense fleets. If these strangers mean harm, our fleets won't matter," Yun said quietly. "The legends say human ships were built differently than ours, not just to travel between stars, but to fight wars among them." The crystal dome above them suddenly dimmed as one of the suns set behind Nexus Prime's horizon. In the growing darkness, the delegates looked at each other with new fear and wonder. "I suggest we prepare a diplomatic vessel," said Ambassador Kira. "Whatever these ships are, whoever controls them, we should try to communicate first." "And if communication fails?" asked Commander Day. Hyun picked up his fallen datapad with shaking hands. "Then we pray the legends were wrong about how dangerous humans could be in battle." Outside, the stars began to appear in the darkening sky. Somewhere, among them, unknown ships continued their journey toward Federation space. Inside the crystal dome, 47 species tried to prepare for the possibility that their oldest legends might be about to become reality. None of them slept well that night. In their dreams, they saw ships that moved like hunting predators through the darkness between stars. And in those ships, they imagined the faces of beings their ancestors had tried so hard to forget. Ambassador Yeon stood on the bridge of the diplomatic vessel Harmony's Voice. The ship was the pride of the Federation, built specifically for first contact with unknown species. Its hull was painted in peaceful white and gold, with symbols from all 47 member species decorating its sides. "Still no response to our signals," reported Lee, the chief communications officer. His 4 arms worked quickly across multiple control panels. Lee's species was known for their skill with technology, but even he seemed frustrated. "Keep trying," Yeon said calmly. She had handled first contact situations before, but never with ships this large or this mysterious. Through the main view screen, she could see the unknown fleet hanging in space at the edge of Federation territory. The ships were even more impressive up close. Each one was at least twice the size of Federation battleships, but they moved with a grace that made them seem alive. Their dark hulls reflected the light of nearby stars like polished metal. "Ma'am," called Lieutenant Wu from the sensor station, "I'm reading massive energy buildups in their weapon systems." "Are they targeting us?" Jan asked. "No, ma'am. It's more like they're showing off, demonstrating their power." Suddenly, Lee's communication board lit up with incoming signals. "Ambassador, we're receiving a transmission. It's in perfect Galactic Standard." Jan blinked in surprise. Galactic Standard was a language created by the Federation only 2,000 years ago. How could unknown aliens speak it so perfectly? Could it through? The view screen changed to show the interior of one of the unknown ships. The bridge was clean and efficient, with soft lighting and smooth surfaces. But it was the figure standing in the center that made everyone on Harmony's Voice gasp. He looked almost exactly like the ancient pictures of humans from the old legends. 2 arms, 2 legs, standing upright. His skin was tanned from some distant sun, and his dark hair was cut short in a military style. He wore a uniform that was both practical and elegant. "I am Admiral Nam of the Human Colonial Fleet," the figure said. His voice was calm and confident. "I speak for the human ships currently at your border. We seek an audience with the Federation Council." The bridge of Harmony's Voice fell silent. Even the usual hum of the ship's engines seemed quieter. "Did he say human?" whispered Lee. Admiral Nam smiled slightly as if he could hear their shocked whispers. "Yes, Chief Communications Officer Lee of the Takari species. I said human. We've been monitoring your transmissions for some time." Lee's 4 arms stopped moving completely. How did this human know his name and species? Ambassador Yeon found her voice first. "Admiral Nam, I am Ambassador Yeon of the Galactic Federation. Your species, We thought you were legends, stories from the past. We are very real, Ambassador, and we have much to discuss. Before Yeon could respond, another voice came from behind Admiral Nam. Admiral, shall I provide them with our current fleet composition? A woman stepped into view. She was shorter than the Admiral, with long black hair tied back in a practical style. Like Nam, she wore a military uniform that looked both advanced and battle-tested. This is Captain Rin, Admiral Nam said. She commands one of our escort vessels, Incheon's Fury. Captain Rin nodded politely to the Federation representatives. We have 48 heavy cruisers, 16 battleships, and over 200 support vessels in this initial contact group. Lieutenant Wu checked his sensors and went pale. Ambassador, that matches our readings exactly, but that's just their escort group? Initial contact group, Admiral Nam corrected gently. We thought it best to make a good first impression. Another human appeared on the screen, a man with graying hair and kind eyes. I am Tae, serving as diplomatic liaison for this mission. Admiral, perhaps we should explain our situation to our Federation friends. Ambassador Yeon struggled to process what she was seeing. 3 humans, speaking perfect galactic standard, commanding a fleet that outgunned anything the Federation had ever assembled. How is this possible? She asked. Our records show that humans vanished from known space 3,000 years ago. We didn't vanish, Tae said calmly. We were encouraged to leave. There's quite a difference. Encouraged? Admiral Nam's expression grew harder. Several Federation species decided that humans were problematic. They made it clear that we were not welcome in civilized space, so we found our own space to civilize. Captain Rin added, We've spent 3,000 years expanding into the unknown regions beyond your maps. We've built colonies on worlds you've never seen. We've faced threats you can't imagine. And we've grown stronger. The implications hit Ambassador Yeon like a physical blow. While the Federation had remained stable and peaceful, humans had been conquering unknown space. They had been fighting, building, advancing. How many worlds? She asked quietly. How many do you control? Tae asked in return. The Federation governs 437 inhabited worlds. The 3 humans exchanged glances. Admiral, Nam spoke carefully. We currently maintain active colonies on over 2,000 worlds, but we're not here to compare territories. Then why are you here? Ambassador Yeon asked. We're here because the galaxy is about to face a threat that will require all of our combined strength, Captain Rin said. Something is coming from beyond the galactic rim. Something that makes our old disagreements seem very small. Admiral Nam nodded grimly. But that discussion is for the full Federation Council. Can you arrange a meeting? Ambassador Yeon realized her hands were shaking. Everything she thought she knew about the galaxy had changed in the last few minutes. The Federation wasn't the only major power anymore. Maybe they never had been. I'll send word to Nexus Prime immediately, she said. Excellent, Tae smiled. We'll wait here for their response. Oh, and Ambassador, you might want to warn them that we're expecting more ships to arrive soon. More ships? This really was just our initial contact group, Admiral Nam explained. The main fleet is still 3 days behind us. How many ships in the main fleet? Lieutenant Wu asked weakly. Captain Rin's smile was polite but not entirely friendly. Enough! The transmission ended, leaving the Bridge of Harmony's voice in stunned silence. Outside, the human fleet waited patiently, their ships dark against the stars. Ambassador Yeon looked at her crew and realized they were all thinking the same thing. The legends had been wrong about one important detail. They had described humans as a lost species, brave but primitive. These humans weren't primitive at all. They were advanced, organized, and very clearly prepared for war. The only question now was whether that war would be with the Federation or alongside it. War Chief Jun slammed his armored fist onto the council table. The sound echoed through the crystal dome of Nexus Prime like thunder. His gray skin was darker than usual, a sign of anger among his people. This is unacceptable, he growled. The Raxor Empire has protected Federation space for over 1,000 years. We are the finest warriors in the galaxy. Now these humans appear and claim to be our superiors? General Su nodded agreement. His battle scars seemed to glow white against his angry skin. The legend spoke of human stubbornness, not human strength. We should test their claims. Ambassador Yeon tried to keep peace in the meeting. War Chief Jun, the humans haven't claimed to be superior. They've simply offered to help defend against this unknown threat they mentioned. By bringing warships to our borders, Jun shot back. If they truly wanted peace, they would have come with trade vessels and diplomats, not battleships and weapons. Admiral, Nam sat quietly at the far end of the table. The human had been invited to address the Federation Council, but so far he had mostly listened. His calm manner seemed to irritate the Raxer even more. Admiral, Jun said, turning to face the human, my people have conquered over 100 worlds. We have never lost a major battle. Your legends may speak of human courage, but courage means nothing without skill. Nam smiled politely. War Chief Jun, I have great respect for Raxer military achievements. Your people are clearly experienced warriors. Then you will agree to a demonstration, Jun said with satisfaction. A friendly test of our respective capabilities. One of your ships against one of ours. Colonel Bo, who had been standing behind Admiral Nam, stepped forward. Unlike the calm Admiral, Bo looked excited by the suggestion. That sounds like an excellent idea, War Chief. When would you like to begin? Jun blinked in surprise. He had expected negotiation, perhaps some hesitation. Instead, the human colonel seemed eager for combat. You accept so quickly? Jun asked. Suspiciously. Why wouldn't we? Bo replied. We've been traveling for months without any real exercise for our weapon systems. This would be perfect practice. The word practice made General Su's scars flush even whiter. Practice? You consider combat against the finest Raxer vessel to be practice? Bo looked genuinely confused. What else would it be? We're not actually at war. War Chief Jun stood up to his full height, which was impressive even by Raxer standards. Very well. We will meet in the Kepler neutral zone in 6 hours. I will personally command our newest battlecruiser, Conqueror's Pride. Choose your best. Ship, human. Admiral Nam finally spoke up. Colonel Bo, take the Soul's vengeance. Try not to embarrass our new friends too badly. Yes, sir. Bo grinned. Should I use full weapons or keep it gentle? Use your judgment, Nam replied casually. The Raxer delegation exchanged worried glances. The humans were treating this challenge like a training exercise, not a serious test of military power. 6 hours later, representatives from every Federation species gathered to watch the demonstration. Observation ships positioned themselves at a safe distance from the combat zone. Captain 1 commanded the Pride of the Raxor fleet, a massive battlecruiser armed with the latest plasma cannons and protected by the strongest shields in Federation space. Facing him was Commander Han, in what appeared to be a medium-sized human frigate. The ship looked sleek and fast, but it was clearly smaller than the Raxor vessel. Human ship, this is Captain 1 of the Conqueror's Pride. Are you ready to begin? Ready when you are, Captain, came Han's relaxed reply. Observer No from the neutral Terran Historical Society watched from his research vessel. As someone who studied ancient battles, he was curious to see how modern warfare compared to the legends. Begin, announced the official referee from the Federation Oversight Committee. Captain 1 immediately activated all weapons and charged directly at the human ship. It was a classic Raxor tactic, use superior firepower and armor to overwhelm the enemy. Quickly, the human ship simply disappeared. Where did it go? One demanded, scanning his sensors frantically. Behind you, came Han's amused voice. One spun his ship around to find the human frigate sitting perfectly still, just outside the range of his weapons. Somehow it had moved faster than his sensors could track. Impossible, one muttered, firing. A full spread of plasma bolts. The human ship moved again, this time seeming to dance between the incoming fire. Not one shot came close to hitting it. Your turn, Han announced cheerfully. A single beam of energy lanced out from the human vessel. It struck Conqueror's Pride exactly where Wan knew his ship was strongest, the main shield generator. One watched in horror as his shield simply vanished. Not overloaded, not drained, just gone. How? He whispered. Shield harmonics, Han explained helpfully. Every shield has a frequency. Find the right frequency, and you can turn it off like a light switch. Another beam struck the Raxor ship. This time it hit the weapons array. One tried to fire back, but nothing happened. Weapons are offline, his tactical officer reported. All systems are being shut down one by one. Surrender? Han asked politely. Captain Wan had never surrendered in his life. The Raxor didn't surrender. They fought until victory or death. But his ship was completely helpless. The human hadn't tried to destroy them, just disable them with surgical precision. I surrender, one said quietly. The watching Federation. Representatives sat in stunned silence. The battle had lasted exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds. The most advanced Raxor warship had been defeated without taking any damage at all. Observer No checked his instruments again. According to his readings, the human ship had been holding back. They could have destroyed Conqueror's pride at any point, but chose instead to disable it. Human vessel, came Captain Wan's voice over the communication channel. How did you move so fast? We didn't move particularly fast, Han replied. Your sensors just aren't designed to track ships built for real combat. Real combat, Captain? One with respect. You've been fighting against enemies who use the same basic technology as you do. Same weapons, same shields, same sensors. We've spent 3,000 years fighting things that don't follow any rules. Admiral Nam's voice joined the conversation. Captain One, your ship and crew performed admirably, but you've been preparing for the wrong kind of war. War Chief Jun found his voice at last. What do you mean? You've been preparing for honorable combat between civilized species, Nam explained. We've been preparing for survival against things that want to eat us, enslave us, or worse. It creates different priorities. Colonel Bo added, the threat coming from beyond the galaxy doesn't care about honor or rules. It just wants to win. If we're going to stop it, we need to be ready to win too. Observer No began updating his files on human military capabilities. The legends had spoken of human determination and refusal to surrender. But they had missed something important. Humans didn't just refuse to lose. They had spent 3,000 years learning how to make sure they never had to. The demonstration was over, but the real education was just beginning. Dr. Yoon had spent her entire life studying the past. As the Federation's leading expert on ancient civilizations, she thought she knew everything about galactic history. Now, sitting in her research lab surrounded by data files, she realized how wrong she had been. The records don't match, she whispered to herself. Comparing human accounts with Federation historical archives, nothing matches. Archive Master Bin entered her lab carrying an armload of restricted files. His usual calm expression was troubled. I've found more inconsistencies. Look at these planetary surveys from 3,000 years ago. He spread the documents across Yoon's work table. The files showed detailed maps of 12 different star systems, all marked as uninhabited in Federation records. According to our official history, these systems were empty when we first explored them, Bin explained. But look at this. He activated a holographic display showing the same star systems. This time, they were filled with space stations, orbital platforms, and clear signs of advanced civilization. These are from Admiral Nam's personal archives, Bin continued. He gave us access to prove his people's claims. These systems weren't empty. They were full of human colonies. Dr. Yoon studied the images carefully. The architectural styles match the ancient human ruins we've found on frontier worlds. But our records say those ruins were left by an unknown, extinct species. Not extinct, said a new voice from the laboratory doorway. Intelligence Chief Yule entered, carrying a datapad that seemed to weigh heavily in his hands. Relocated. What do you mean? Dr. Yoon asked. Yule activated his datapad and projected more files into the air. These were different, older, and marked, with security codes that Dr. Yoon had never seen before. I've been investigating the classified archives, the ones that require special clearance to access. What I found... Yule paused, looking sick. What I found changes everything we believe about Federation history. Archive Master Bin leaned forward. Show us. The first document appeared in the air above them. It was a council meeting record from 3,000 years ago. Dr. Yoon read the title and gasped. Special Committee on the Human Problem? She read aloud. Keep reading, Yule said grimly. Dr. Yoon scanned the document, her expression growing more horrified with each line. They're discussing humans like they're a disease to be cured. Listen to this. The human tendency toward rapid advancement and aggressive expansion threatens the stability of galactic civilization. It gets worse, Yule warned. The next document was labeled Final Solution Protocol. Dr. Yoon had to sit down as she read it. They didn't try to destroy humanity, she whispered. They tried to erase them from history instead. Archive Master Bin took the data pad with trembling hands. Operation Memory Gap, he read. Step 1. Relocate all human populations to designated sectors beyond current exploration limits. Step 2. Remove all references to human civilization from official records. Step 3. Classify any remaining evidence as extinct alien artifacts. 27 species participated in this conspiracy, Yule added. Species that are still part of the Federation today. They didn't want to commit genocide, so they chose a different approach. Dr. Yoon felt sick to her stomach. They made humans into myths, turned them into bedtime stories so future generations would never think to look for them. But why? Archive Master Bin asked. What made humans so threatening? Yule activated another file. This one showed population growth charts, technological advancement rates, and territorial expansion maps. Humans were advancing too quickly, he explained. In just 500 years of galactic contact, they had established colonies in over 50 star systems. Their technology was improving faster than established species could keep up with. Most importantly, they kept pushing into unexplored space instead of staying in safe, regulated areas. The other species were afraid of being left behind, Dr. Yoon realized. So they got rid of the competition. Not got rid of, Archive Master Bin corrected. Hidden. They thought if humans were isolated long enough, they would either die out naturally or become less threatening. A new voice spoke from the laboratory entrance. Instead, we became much more dangerous. The three researchers turned to see Fleet Admiral Gang standing in their doorway. The human officer looked older than Admiral Nam, with silver hair and eyes that had seen too much. Admiral Gang, Dr. Yoon stammered. How long have you been listening? Long enough to confirm what we already knew. Gang entered the lab and studied the holographic displays. These files match our own historical records perfectly. You knew about the conspiracy? Yule asked. Of course we knew. Some of our people were alive when it happened. The generation that was forced to leave kept detailed records of everything. Who was involved, how it was done, why it was necessary. Gang touched one of the holographic documents, and it expanded to show a list of star coordinates. These are the locations of 17 human colonies that were relocated during Operation Memory Gap. The inhabitants were given two choices: leave their homes voluntarily or be removed by force. What did they choose? Archive Master Bin asked quietly. Most left peacefully. We've always been practical people, but we also remembered. Gang's expression grew harder. We spent 3,000 years building new homes, advancing our technology, and preparing for the day when we would return. Dr. Yoon looked at all the evidence spread around her lab. How many people know the truth? On the human side? Everyone. It's part of our basic education. Children learn about the Great Exile as soon as they're old enough to understand. Gang paused. On the Federation side, until today, probably less than 100 people in classified intelligence positions. Intelligence Chief Yule activated his communicator. I need to contact the Council immediately. They have to know about this. They already know, Gang said, calmly. Admiral Nam presented them with copies of these same files this morning. That's why I'm here, to answer any questions about the historical context. What's going to happen now? Dr. Yoon asked. Gang studied the three researchers for a moment before answering. That depends on how the Federation chooses to handle the truth. You can acknowledge what was done and work with us to build something better, or you can deny it and face the consequences. What consequences? Archive Master Bin asked nervously. We didn't come back for revenge, Master Bin. We came back because the galaxy is about to face something that will destroy all of us if we don't work together. Gang gestured toward the star charts floating above them. But we also won't accept being exiled again. The threat you keep mentioning, Yul said. What exactly is coming? Gang's expression grew grim. Something that makes our old disagreements look like children's games. Something that doesn't care about Federation politics or human history. Something that just wants to consume everything in its path. Dr. Yoon looked around her lab at 3,000 years of lies and cover-ups. How do we even begin to fix this? The same way humans always fix things, Gang replied. We tell the truth, we work hard, and we refuse to give up until the job is done. Outside the laboratory windows, human and Federation ships waited in space. The past had finally caught up with the present, and the future would depend on how honestly they could face what had been hidden for so long. Supreme Chancellor Ju stood at the great window of Nexus Prime, looking out at the mixed fleet of human and Federation ships. 6 months had passed since the truth about the Great Exile became public knowledge. 6 months of difficult decisions, angry debates, and slowly growing cooperation. The integration reports are better than expected, said General Choi, entering the Chancellor's office with a stack of data pads. The human officer had been appointed to oversee the military cooperation programs between Federation and human forces. How much better? Chancellor Ju asked without turning from the window. Pirate activity in the Outer Rim has dropped by 90%. The Zarkon raiders who used to attack our cargo ships haven't been seen in over 2 months. Word is spreading that Federation space is now protected by human response fleets. Ju finally turned around. And our own military leaders? How are they handling the changes? General Choi set down his reports and activated a holographic display. Better than we hoped. Captain Sam's technology exchange program has been particularly successful. Federation ships equipped with human sensor arrays and shield systems are performing far beyond their original specifications. The hologram showed before and after comparisons of Federation vessels. Ships that had once been slow and poorly armed now moved with grace and carried weapons that could stop threats before they began. The Raxer have been especially adaptable, Choi continued. War Chief Jun requested to train with human combat instructors. He says he wants to learn to fight real enemies instead of just other civilized species. Chancellor Ju allowed herself a small smile. The proud Raxer accepting human military instruction had been one of the bigger surprises of the integration process. What about the cultural programs? She asked. Cultural Ambassador Yu has established exchange programs on over 200 worlds. Human families are settling on Federation planets and Federation citizens are visiting human colonies. The initial suspicion is fading. Suspicion? Many Federation citizens were angry when they learned about the Great Exile. They felt betrayed by their own governments. But they're beginning to understand that cooperation benefits everyone. The office door opened and Captain Sam entered, carrying what looked like a small device covered in blinking lights. Chancellor Ju, General Choi. Sam nodded respectfully. I have the latest report from the medical exchange program. Good news, I hope? Chancellor Ju asked. Sam's face lit up with excitement. Better than good. The Villani healing techniques combined with human medical technology have created treatments for diseases that have plagued the galaxy for centuries. We've essentially solved the Rigel plague and made major progress against cellular degeneration syndrome. She activated her device and medical charts appeared in the air around them. More importantly, we've established joint research stations where human and Federation scientists work side by side. The breakthroughs we're achieving together are beyond what either side could accomplish alone. General Choi nodded approvingly. This is what Admiral Nam meant when he said humans came back to build, not conquer. Speaking of Admiral Nam, Chancellor Ju said, where is he now? Aboard the Busan's Victory with Admiral Ho, Sam replied. They're conducting the final integration exercises with the combined fleet. High above Nexus Prime, Admiral Ho stood on the bridge of humanity's newest flagship. The Busan's victory was enormous even by human standards, but its bridge crew included officers from 12 different species. Fleet status report, Ho requested. Commander Yoon, his human tactical officer, consulted his displays. All ships report. Ready? We have 47 human vessels, 31 Federation heavy cruisers, and over 200 support ships from both sides working in perfect coordination. Navigation? Ho asked. Course plotted and ready for hyperspace jump, replied Lieutenant Kira, the Villani officer who served as his navigator. Her underwater species had natural abilities that made them excellent at three-dimensional thinking. Communications with the Outer Rim stations? All stations reporting normal conditions, answered Chief Day, the Raxor communications specialist. No sign of the threat Admiral Nam warned us about. Ho walked to the main view screen and looked out at the combined fleet. Ships that had once belonged to potential enemies now worked together as a single unified force. Admiral, came a voice from behind him. Ho turned to see Elder Sage OK entering the bridge. The elderly human served as keeper of historical records for the combined Human Federation government. Elder Sage, what brings you to the bridge? I wanted to witness this moment firsthand, OK replied, moving to stand beside Ho at the view screen. The first time in 3,000 years that humans and Federation species have worked together as equals. What will you write in the historical records? Ho asked. OK smiled. That we proved the legends were wrong in the most important way. How? So, the old stories portrayed humans as warriors who never surrendered, but what we really are is builders who never stop building.